Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.
Let's go to Leland. Leland in Connecticut. I know a Leland. He speaks Chinese, or Mandarin to be exact. Leland Hardy.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey, good. I'm coming at you with love. Hey, Cena, I hope you're well.
I'm receiving.
Hey, what's up?
All right, good. Cena mentioned something earlier about the commutation of the judge with the Kids for Cash. Karen, that has to be expanded on because that was an ugly event that happened to black kids for many, many years with this judge. And for Biden to commute this guy is just despicable. It's despicable. And I just wanted to say this needs to be expanded on. And I think the Democrats right now have lost all credibility with me.
So because of this, all Democrats now, like,
I feel the same way.
Hold on, because this is the problem, right? We take this one thing, like I could have easily said, Biden, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me. But I was like, you have to weigh your options because politics is not a popularity contest. It's a power resources game, right? So it's like, who can I get the most resources for my community or for myself, or whatever. So you vote, hold your nose, whereas people are voting their emotions. So you're saying all Democrats, Leland, because of this one commutation? Now, if he turns around and commutes, go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying. Not on a local level, but I think the Democrats have lost credibility, and certainly mine, on a national level. They've been playing games for years. I've seen it. But on a local level, that's something different. But nationally, they don't have credibility with me.
Oh, okay. And this may be a source where they're going to have to figure this out or not, or maybe it's on purpose. I feel like they're almost sabotaging themselves because there's so much cash for play in politics that they're, like how Jill Stein comes out every 4 years because there's money to be made. There's money to be made.
I agree.
So as long as they make this money, they don't care about us. So I hear you. But now is the time for us to put people in office and show up in primaries and show up locally, like you said, and make sure that we have the kind of governance that we deserve. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, ripped Joe Biden's behind for commuting these sentences, and particularly the Kids for Cash case. And I apologize for not bringing it to the forefront because there's so much limited capacity, which is why we bring on guests, which is why callers call up, except for the F1 callers. But Cena, since you did a whole fraudster episode, what episode was it, so we can tweet it out so people can listen?
It's the Kids for Cash. It's Spiz. If you need it, I can send it to you. But
I'll find it. I think what the caller, what the story is.
Yeah, I think what the caller. But I want to just talk about what the caller is talking about here because I feel like I felt similarly. It feels like, and it's not a straw, but it feels like the last straw that's broken our back. We were already down and kind of, disheartened by everything that the Democratic Party has done and that how Joe Biden, has conducted himself in this administration when it comes to different issues, both domestically and internationally. This felt like such kick us while we're down. So just to give you the summation of this story, Judge Conahan was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. He was a judge there for a very long time. He got into a deal with a couple other guys to basically build a juvenile detention facility. Now, if you build a juvenile detention facility, you need kids to go into that juvenile detention facility. And so he was getting kickbacks along with another lawyer guy from the real estate developer who built the juvenile detention facility. And obviously the county pays for the facility, so the money was flowing, right? What this judge was doing is if a kid, let's say a push and shove on a playground and a kid gets sent to juvenile court, okay? Before they enter his courtroom, he would have them sign away their right to an attorney. I want to say that again. He had them sign away a child's right to an attorney, and you might say, where were the parents? The parents were right there, and the staff was there, and the staff would say at Conahan's direction, it'll be fine. It'll make the attorney, if you get an attorney, it'll just be a mess. It'll be easier and faster, and he'll just get off very quickly if you just sign this waiver, get in front of the judge, and see it through. And he did this at 5 to 10x the state average of kids signing an attorney waiver. So this is a fundamental constitutional problem here, first of all. Second, he stacked this juvenile detention facility with children, ruining kids' lives. One kid ended up taking his own life later, whose mother went and confronted him after he was convicted. He is obstinate to the very end, even after he was convicted, and he wasn't convicted. They settled, but and he got a plea deal. But the thing here is, this man was serving 17 and a half years because of the CARES Act. He was allowed to go into home confinement because everyone was dying in prison. And if you met certain criteria, you were allowed to go. And mind you, the CARES Act, when it did that, helped a lot of people because the recidivism level was really low. You had a lot of people on like very small drug possession charges that didn't die in prison because of the CARES Act. Sure. But did this man need to be part of the 1,500 people that had their sentences commuted? No, I don't know. And I asked some lawyers that we actually interviewed on Fraudsters today about it. They couldn't give me a definitive answer either on this. And this is my fundamental problem. This is why I feel disheartened as a Democrat. This is absolutely the most insidious case I've ever seen in my life. I was in tears recording the episode. We had to cut so much out because it was so disgusting. There's interviews with children, every race you could imagine, every period of age, boys, girls. And again, we're not talking about mass shooters here. We're talking about a playground fight. And so good.
No, as you're talking and I'm seeing, the mother of the child that took his life, Josh Shapiro, all of the outrage. How do we measure? Like, it's easy. Like, I'm listening to our brother that just called up as well. Love you too. How do we, Leland, reconcile that? Because I felt a lot of this angst with this election cycle where people like, I don't believe anybody, I'm not voting, or I'm just, going to vote for Joe Stein or Cornel West, somebody that I actually like and respect, or I'm going to write in my name and I'm going to do all these other things. But it really stripped us from being able to move about the cabin freely. Now we got to work. I'm grateful that we're here now, but how do we assess? Because Joe Biden's presidency is not a complete wash. There's some of you who are on insulin right now who don't have to pay goo gobs of money because Joe Biden's administration said we're going to challenge the pharmaceutical companies, which nobody was doing. We have Black farmers who were able to get not reparations because they clearly didn't get what they deserve, but billions of dollars that were earmarked for them because of the harm that was done to them, money that was owed to them, now are getting their money. There are millions of Americans who got their student debt forgiven, wiped clean. We're talking 20, 30, some of you 6 figures done, right? How do we assess a presidency when this is one of the last acts? Now, if he turns around tomorrow and says, Assata Shakur, I'm clearing the record, Marcus Garvey, here you go, we're going to clear his record. Will that balance the scales? Like how do we assess his presidency?
We can assess his presidency intellectually, but I think what I don't want to do is jump to problem solving when I think what we're feeling is hurt, and we should feel hurt. We should have empathy for not only the families that were impacted by this judge and how harmful and re-traumatizing it is for those kids to see this man go free like this, but we should also have space for ourselves to be angry, because frankly, the other side gave themselves space to be angry, and it helped and it worked. I feel very often Democrats say, don't worry about what you're feeling. Let's look to the future. Let's progress. We're progressives. We got to move forward. No, be angry. Let's be angry because it's worth being angry. And you know what? If you do something wrong and then you do a couple rights, good. It's the least you could have effing done.
866-801-TALK.